¿Qué onda, raza? Los interrumpo rápidamente porque en este video, si están aquí por las capturas, no va a haber capturas de trucha, pero va a haber mucha información. Esta persona es un profesional. Ahí en el estado donde él vive ha estado en revistas, él trabaja en Cabelas, y es un manager de cosas ahí en Cabelas y todo eso. Entonces aceptó hacer esta entrevista gratis, solamente para compartir la información que él tiene, que es mucha. En este video solamente pusimos un poco, pero creo que es lo necesario para aquellas personas que se quieren familiarizar e interesar en esto, o los que ya están interesados. Ok, así que sin más ni más, raza, nos vemos ahí en el video porque va a estar bueno, si quieren aprender algo. Hey, ¿qué onda, raza? Estamos aquí en Tingley Beach y tengo a mi amigo aquí, Joe. Él nos va a enseñar cómo hacer fly fishing, nos va a enseñar lo que ocupamos, nos va a enseñar lo que necesitamos para empezar, la técnica, el brazo, el hombro, todo lo que tenemos que hacer. Si quieren meterse a lo de fly fishing, y al rato podemos usarlo para hacer pesca de lobina con fly y todo eso. Así que si más ni más, raza, quédense porque va a estar bueno.
Okay, so my name is Joe and we're here at the Catch and Release Pond at Tingley Beach in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we're fly fishing for trout today. I have a 6-weight fly rod here, equipped with a 6-weight reel and 6-weight fly line. This fly line is called weighted forward floating because it floats on top of the water, and the majority of the coating on the line is in the front of the line so that it can pull the line out when you cast. It's the weight of the line that actually does the movement in fly fishing that pulls your flies out into the open water. So we're just gonna stand here by the water. I'm gonna pull out some line from the reel. Get some line out there. And then I'm going to cast, fly out into the water. You'll notice that the line comes out on the forward part of the cast. And there are the flies way out there in the water. The flies themselves sink, so they are going to attract trout that are near the bottom, and we're using an orange egg and a fly called a San Juan worm, an orange San Juan worm that was developed for a famous river in northwestern New Mexico. Okay. So it's good to have a little bit of movement on your flies because it attracts the fish. We're fishing for trout right now, and so you maybe pulse it every 30 seconds or a minute or so, and hopefully you get the attention of a fish. Fly rods are based on an arbitrary numbering system where a 5-weight is in the middle, a 2-weight is a very small light rod, and an 8-weight is a very heavy rod that you would use for large fish. So in New Mexico, a good sized rod to get is a 5 or 6 fly rod. And then of course you match that with the appropriate reel. So this is a 5-6 reel that will match this fly line and fly rod. And then the line also needs to match 5 or 6 weight so that everything is balanced.
For example, for bass fishing, you will use like an 8 rod probably?
Depending on the size of the fish, yeah. If you're fishing for large bass, then you need a larger rod. Like an 8-weight would be appropriate.
Okay, for example, for popping frogs and everything, that would be good?
So when you're fishing for bass, the majority of your fly fishing is done on the surface of the water with poppers and topwater lures. These are flies for trout. So the top one there is an egg pattern, an orange egg pattern. And this one is the orange San Juan worm, named after the San Juan River in northwestern New Mexico. And these flies are for trout.
Okay.
And these flies sink to the bottom about as far as the tapered leader is long. You'll notice that the fly line doesn't arc. It arcs back and then it arcs forward. You want the transfer of power to be smooth from the rod to the line to the flies. So you use a leader called a tapered leader that goes from 20-pound test, very thick, where it ties next to the fly line, down to 2-pound test, very, very thin, so that you can tie your flies onto it. And so the transfer of power is very even because of that smooth transition from the heavy line to the light line. It's called a tapered leader.
Alright, it's kind of like a whip, no?
Right, exactly. So sometimes when you're fly fishing, there's trees and shrubs behind you. So a traditional back cast is not really appropriate for the situation. So you do what's called a roll cast, where you forcefully bring the rod forward and the line comes out in front and rolls over itself and farther out into the water. That's called a roll cast. So I'm adding more line, bring the rod tip down hard, and the cast rolls out in front of you.
That was far. No les añadí subtítulos aquí porque es mejor mirarlo. En realidad lo que no está haciendo es no está aventando la línea hacia atrás. Está jalando la línea paralelo a su cuerpo y de ahí lo hace hacia enfrente, como pueden ver aquí.
If you're fishing in the ocean with a fly rod, you want to collect your line in a basket that you wear around your waist, so that when the tide goes back out, it doesn't drag all your fly line with it and make it very difficult to cast. Or you get hung up on rocks or seaweed. And so in the surf, in the ocean, when you fly fish, you use a basket to gather your line.
Ok, raza, ahí están. Joe se va a retirar, tiene unas cosas que hacer. Thank you, Joe, for everything, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for your knowledge and everything, for sharing. Joe nos está enseñando todo este show y vamos a aplicar. Si quieren que me meta lo del fly fishing, díganme si quieren meter y les voy grabando ahí cómo voy aprendiendo y todo eso, porque definitivamente nos vamos a poner a hacer todo esto. So thank you, Joe. Thank you for everything,
You're
man.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
See you guys.